Previously. Count returns the what the heck is an A count? What is an A count? I'm still not sure what an A count is, but I guess we'll learn some statistics next time. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Learn Some Statistics. Today, we will learn about a very, very special concept in statistics called the A count. As you can see, the count and count A functions in Google Spreadsheets returns the A count of numeric and regular values in the datasets respectively. Now, you might be wondering, how is an A count different from an ordinary count? Well, I'm very glad you asked. As it turns out, the A count is short for a typo in the word count, hence A count. That is correct. We have found a typo in the official Google documentation. If you click on the link here, and if you read the full documentation, they did not actually make the same error here. They just say it returns a count of number of values in the dataset. Also, I would like to point out, why on earth are these count blank, count if categorized as math, and these count and count A were categorized as statistical? It doesn't make any sense. And this time, it's not because it's a serif font. It just doesn't make any sense. I was so genuinely confused by this in the last episode. I was like, oh, okay, these are statistical. And I remember learning about A-mean and G-means in school, right, like arithmetic and geometric means, so maybe an A count has something to do with that, but no, it turns out it was just a typo. So what did we learn here? The moral of the story is you cannot trust everything you read on the internet. In fact, even the word internet itself came from a typo. They originally want to name this thing the internet after the fact that every time you want to go to a website, you have to type the URL and press enter on the keyboard. However, the clerk made a typo, swapping the E for an I in the original announcement, hence the internet as we know it now was born. I bet you didn't know that. So yeah, remember kids, do not trust everything you find on the internet, especially not in random internet videos. Alright, so my rant is over. I just thought I should address that because the number one feedback I heard for the first episode was that the music is too loud, which hopefully I fix in this episode. Let me know if that's still a problem in the comments. But the number two thing was everyone was saying, hey, you can just use count A. And I was like, yeah, if there's no typo in the documentation, maybe I would have found it. Anyway, as long as there's one other person watching this video who did not know that, the mistake was totally worth it, because as I said earlier, the whole point of this is we'll learn stuff together, which we did. So, now that we have learned what a count A is, let's fix the spreadsheet. So, this, if you still remember, we were doing 9, which is the total number of cells, minus count blank, which works, but apparently the proper way to do this is count A, right? So if we do that and we put some X and O's there, you can see that everything is working perfectly. All right, with that out of the way, we can get back to working on our game here. What I decided to do today is to clean up our spreadsheet a little bit before adding even more features to it. As you can see, we have added quite a few variables down below over the course of working on the game in the last episode. While it is certainly good to have your variables nicely named, they're great for debugging and stuff, our users don't really need to see that, right? They're basically just for internal bookkeeping, so it will be great if we can hide them from the main UI. So let's start by renaming this sheet to the UI sheet, and then we'll add another sheet here called internals. Right, so what we can do is we can basically just move these things over. So this is basically count A of the board. I wonder if you can just copy it over. Unfortunately, that didn't work. What was that? Values format? Nope. Well, that didn't work, but that's fine, I guess. We only have a few formulas, so it's not that much work to copy them over by hand. So let's start with total, and then we will do x and O's, and what else do we have? We have too many X's, too many O's, and too many. Okay, too many X's, question mark. Too many O's, and too many, question mark. So that would be count A of this sheet here, and it will be this range. What is happening over here? Did that do anything? No, that did not do anything. Why is that? Count A of that. Okay. Not sure what just happened earlier, but oh well, we have it working. Let's do the same thing. Oh, actually, there is a problem because as you can see, when we drag the formula down, I was just trying to cheat a little bit because I know these. What just happened there? I think we might have hit a bug in the spreadsheet. Who knows? But we don't need that anymore, so that's fine. I was just thinking that it would be easier to drag the formula down than to do the dance again, but the problem is when we drag this formula down, it is assuming that we want to change the roles automatically, which is usually what you want when you have a table, like tabular list of data, and then you have a, I don't know, like a sum column on the end or something, and you drag the formula down. You basically want that to be referring to each row, but this is not what we want here. So what we do instead is we can use a feature called absolute addressing, which basically locks down either the row, the column, or in this case, both the row and column, so that when you drag the formula down or drag across, it would stay exactly, the address would stay exactly the same, and the spreadsheet wouldn't translate the address for you. So that's what we want, and this is basically count if that's X, and this is count if that of O. Right, so let's see if that's working. If we add another X here, then we expect to see 321, and we did see 321, so that's good. Now let's copy over the rest of the formula. We can delete these two now. Oh, actually, these formulas refer to them, so we might want to keep them around for a little bit longer. So this is, unfortunately, I already deleted that, but this is basically just this minus that is greater than 1, so we can do that here. This minus that is greater than 1. And the other one is just this greater than that. And the final one is the total is greater than this plus that. I'm just going through this very quickly because we already did that last time. And if you don't remember what we did, you can feel free to go back and look at the other video. All right, so now we have poured all of these over. We can just delete them. So there's a problem here. First of all, it is actually quite annoying to have to switch between the two tabs to figure out if these are correct. So it would be nicer if even though this tab is for internals, it would be nice if we can see a copy of the game board so we don't have to keep switching the tabs. So let's add that to the left here. Can we insert more than one column? I guess we just have to do it. Let's do that. So we have a 3x3 to work with here. Let's call this game board. Put in bold, and we merge these. Make these. What is your size? 21. Okay. We'll make these 321 so they look square-ish. That's not quite enough for this. I think we can just let it run over. I guess it isn't like that. Okay, that's fine. Let's just make these a little bit bigger. Let's say 25. Not quite enough. Let's do 35. Yeah, that's pretty good. And in that case, whatever. I will live with that. So let's do the same thing here. So this, we will have to do that. And this time we actually do want, we're running into the same glitch again. Yeah, it's not supposed to do that, but oh well, I can just type it. We want F10, right? So this we can do UI bang F10, right? So this time we actually do want relative addressing, right? Because as you can see now, it is copying it correctly, right? So this is F, this is G, this is H, and so on. So that's good. We can still center these things. Because this is for internal use, the styling doesn't really matter. And now, instead of referring to the actual thing, we can just change this to these to refer to these. And so that's still working correctly, and this is referring to that anyway, so everything works. And while we're there, let's move these down a little bit to here, and everything is still working the way it is supposed to. Great. Okay, so what's next? The next thing is, unfortunately, we have broken these two outputs, so we need to do something about that. So the easiest option is we can just change this to refer to the other sheet, but I like to basically do all the logic on this side and then just have this map to a field on the internal so we can see everything here. So let's say, oh, another thing is when so this, if you remember, this is the illegal field, and this is the whose turn is it field. However, you don't really need both at the same time, because when the board is illegal, you don't really need to say who's going next. So we can just merge these two while we're at that. And yeah, let's just merge these two, and we'll give these things, we'll bolt these things so we know their labels. And we will just do a message field here. And I guess we can merge free cells, right? So for now, we'll just say hello, and we will delete these two. Oh, actually, we have a formula in there. I guess we'll keep them around for now, but I will just make a new cell here, and I will do equals internals, and I forgot I3. Right, so I'll just do internals I3. Whoops. I3. Right, so for now it's just gonna say hello, but eventually we'll make that the message, and this will just show what we want. So let's copy over this formula and that formula. Whoa. No. Okay, so this is basically if there's an even number of things, then X should go, otherwise O should go. This is basically if any of the two minis are on, then it's illegal, otherwise it's nothing. So the first thing we can do is, well, the easiest way to go is to basically just say if what was it again? If any of these are on, then illegal, otherwise we can do another if here. If it's even total, then X should go. Otherwise, O should go. So that should work, right? So now we can delete these two and center this, I guess. So now it's saying O should go. If we play another O here, it should say should go. If we play one more O here, it should say illegal, right? So that's working perfectly. And we have hit all of those internal details on the other tab. So that's looking great. Alright, so while that indeed gets the job done, if we look at the implementation, this is getting a little bit out of hand. As you can see, this is a very long formula with a lot of nested conditionals in there. So if it's very difficult to work with as is. Like if we found a bug in there, it's going to be very difficult to track down. But in the future, we probably need to keep adding more messages to it, and it's going to be very difficult to figure out how to do that. So let's fix that. What we can do is we can merge these cells. Just merge seems fine. Wait, that's 100% not what I wanted. I should have listened to the warning. We can do this manually. Actually, there's probably a option to do it. Yeah, merge horizontally. Okay, that's what we want. So what we can do is we can enumerate the messages here. I will just go ahead and do that. Illegal, and then X should go. Whoops. X should go, and O should go. Now, what we can do here is, instead of doing this, we can have we can move the conditional associated with each message outside. So, for example, this would be or any of these, right? This would be is even that. This would be is odd of that, right? So now what we can do is we can basically just display the message. We can have a formula here that basically just display whatever the first message that is true here. And to do that, I believe we need to use a formula called lookup. Well, I guess all of these are lookups. I think vlookup is what we want. Vlookup stands for vertical lookup, right? So it basically searches down the first column of a range for a key and returns the value for I think this is what we want. Now the tricky thing is it expects the key to be on the first column, which we can do. We can actually just move we can move this to the left hand side, right? So now we have condition and we have a message here, right? So now we can do a vlookup of this entire area. Let's just do all the way down there. That's the first key. The first argument is actually the key. So that's the range, and then the index is which column we want to return, right? So in this case, we actually want to return the second column, which would contain the message. So that would be the case. I see a problem here because we actually want these to be sorted by priority order, and the higher priority message should be at the top. Let's see. Oh, there's the fourth argument is sorted. Indicates where a column to be searched is sorted. In our case, the column is not sorted, so we should probably say false. Right. Okay. So that fixed it. I guess basically if you didn't say this, it assumes this column is sorted, so that doesn't quite work. Doesn't work correctly for our case. Okay, so if we go back to here, basically nothing should have changed, right? So we delete all of these. It's now X should go. If we do that, now O should go. So we didn't change anything, but this implementation is much nicer than the previous one. Just to prove the point, we can now actually very easily add a few more messages for everything. So instead of this, for example, we can break up the different kind of illegal messages. So for example, if we have too many, then we can just say illegal unrecognized token. Yep. And we can do that, and then we can say illegal x played and extra turn. Right, and this would be that, and we can say illegal y played and extra turn. And the sorry, this is O, right? And the cool thing is these are all prioritized, right? So if you have an unknown token there, it's not gonna worry about O played an extra turn, right? Because this is clearly more important than the other thing, right? So if you delete this now, you should say O played an extra turn. And we can even do if the total equals 0, then we can say x should start instead of x should go, right? So if we delete everything, then it should say x should start, and if we play x, then it would say O should go, and now it would say x should go instead of x should start. So this is very nice. Alright, so I guess we will end it here for our second episode. I know it doesn't feel like we accomplished much in this episode, but we did. I guess in terms of functionality, we basically just kept more or less the same set of features from last time, but we basically re-implemented everything, and I'm very happy with this cleanup. This is a very significant cleanup. You might not realize it now, but it actually put us into a very good position to finish the game in the next episode, and I'm super thrilled about that. I can see this coming together now. I can totally see how this is going to end in my head, and I can't wait to show you. So if you don't want to miss that, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.